do the intro and yeah, cool.
Yeah. All right, looks like we're good. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, hello and welcome everyone to Crypto Fashion Week, day 1. Today we're joined by Vyking, doing really cool stuff in the augmented reality sneaker arena. And they're going to give us a little kind of rundown and exhibition on kind of what they've been up to. So yeah, take it away, guys.
All right. Thanks for the intro. I don't know, Matthew, you wanted to start the introductions?
Yeah, sure. Like, just my name is Matthew. I'm one of the co-founders of Viking, and just a brief introduction to Viking. We have a virtual try-on solution, and this is powered by our proprietary augmented reality technology, so that any footwear manufacturer currently can integrate this technology into their mobile websites or into their apps, so people can virtually try on shoes using the smartphone camera. All that the manufacturer needs is a 3D model and our tracking solution in order to be able to do this. So today we're going to be talking about the future of sneaker collecting, augmented reality, and how blockchain is going to bring about the rise of collecting sneakers in virtual worlds. And now I'll let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
The CTO of Viking. My background is in computer vision, so I'm the computer vision engineer. So I was one of the team members who created the computer vision tech stack to power our technology. And we are fairly new to the crypto world. We were introduced by friends of ours and that work close to us in Berlin. And when we first heard about crypto and NFTs, we thought it'd be a perfect match for AR and the future of footwear.
Cool. And I'm Thibaut. I'm in charge of product at Viking. Same as Stefan. So yeah, we're a bit new to the crypto world, but I've been into the AR business for the last 10 years, and I've always been a big believer. And this with a sneaker addiction, this brought me here. And I think we also have our two colleagues from Imperial College.
So hi, I'm Shafe. I'm from Imperial. I'm a design engineering student, and we're currently working on a project which is looking to blur the lines between physical and digital, as well as addressing the overconsumption and fast fashion through augmented reality. So yeah, 3rd-year design engineering student at Imperial, and I'm joined by my colleague Alfie.
Hi, so I'm Alfie. I'm also a 3rd-year design engineering student from Imperial, and I'm one of 5 from the group. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for the intro. So we can jump straight in. I'll put my video in full screen today. So yeah, for the people who are not familiar with Viking, so we're London and Berlin-based AR tech company. So we created the first cross-platform AR try-on technology for sneakers. So we allow brands to integrate the AR try-on experience in websites or app, where we allow users to visualize the product directly on their foot. So here you can see on the right, so we already integrated in apps like Adidas. But Rome wasn't built in one day. Of course, before getting into these big apps with a good foot tracking technology, we went through different steps. So the first step that for us was when Facebook and Snapchat launch lenses on their own platforms. So you had the first filters on Snapchat, of course, and then Facebook followed quite after. And they created those AR authoring tools, which allowed people to create lenses themselves or AR content themselves. So they coupled this with technology they owned. So like face tracking was the first, and then they followed up with hand tracking and body tracking recently. And by doing this, they created the perfect tools to democratize AR content for everybody. So anyone around the world was able to create an AR experience to millions of users. So of course it started, and yes, that's me on the left. We started like in a goofy environment, where like the first lenses were entertaining. It was more to make your friends laugh and to to have a bit of fun. And then very quickly it became something arty. So a lot more work was put in it. You had a lot of research, a lot of design that was put in it, and you had loads of design agencies who got into it and created real AR content, which was flirting actually with AR apparel and AR fashion. So at that point, when we saw this, we were really fascinated by the direction that the industry was taking. So we thought, okay, we love sneakers. There's one thing we're good at, it's computer vision. We know how to write algorithms. We know and understand what is the recipe. So we had an idea, and we decided to we had the idea to create an AR try-on technology for sneakers. Back in the days where no one was doing it, because we thought it was possible for the face. So we thought, okay, there might be a way to do the same thing for the foot. And that would be really cool, because I mean, to see what a sneaker looks like would be really cool. But we had to justify it to get approval from our investor, really, and who told us, well, you need to get market validation. So, to get market validation, we came up with a fake video, or a concept video that we put on Instagram. This is not real-time foot tracking. This is CGI, and we put it online on Instagram, and we tagged all the brands that we wanted to work with, and they all got in touch with us the week after, and we ended up at a meeting at Nike the week after, and of course they asked us at the end of the meeting, well, can we see it? Of course, that was a bit of an embarrassing moment. So I came to our CTO, Stefan, and I told him, okay, I think we have some work to do.
So yeah, I remember that meeting very well in the Nike offices in London. It was a bit embarrassing when we said we didn't have the technology ready, and they were expecting it there and then. So we had to go to the drawing board and start from scratch. So we had to build our own computer vision tech stack. So before foot tracking, we previously worked in face tracking. So we had already some knowledge in like real-time computer vision in the mobile space. But foot tracking was another arena because there'd been no research in it before. And we had to build up our own data set from scratch. So we asked our friends and family to take pictures of the feet and send them to us. And the first step was to create a 2D bounding box detector to detect the location of the 2D location of the foot in a camera stream. And so far, so good. It looked okay. And the next step was to add on landmarks onto the feet. So we added this, and also looked quite good, and we carried on, and we thought the next step was to actually add on a 3D shoe. When we did this, it didn't look so great. It was all over the place. It was very buggy, and it wasn't good enough for any clients. So again, after many iterative improvements, we finally added on double feet tracking, so you can track both feet. And still, it wasn't good enough because it's still very shaky. So after many more iterative improvements, we finally got to a stage where we were able to sell to our first customer. And this first customer was Poison in China. They're the biggest sneaker marketplace in China, and they introduced the technology. Now they have 4,000 3D shoe models in deployment in their app. So just an overview of our computer vision tech stack. So we have the core basis of it is a convolutional neural network, and images get passed in. Convolutional neural networks finds the 2D bounding box of the foot, then subsequently finds the 2D landmarks of the foot. And also we estimate the segmentation masks of the feet and the trousers. We do some post-processing. We're able to 3D reconstruct the foot in real time, and we're able to know the 6DoF pose estimation of the foot, and then with that we overlay and render a 3D model. And using the segmentation mask, we add custom occlusion filters on top of it as well. So this is like a very simplistic overview of our technology. And yeah, so I think Matthew's going to talk next about how we scale this technology. So yeah, just a brief background. So we have an app solution for iOS, and that was released in late 2019. 2020 released the Android solution, and just last week we released our web solution. So here's a real benefit here, because you don't have to use an app to use our technology. It's now available on the web. So over to you, Matthew.
Yeah, so as Stefan mentioned, we've got the SDKs for apps, and we've got the web solution as well. And when any manufacturer of any size, or in the future when we have digital creators, whenever they want to make one of the 3D models available for virtual try-on, whether that's a virtual only model or a digital twin of a physical model, they come into Sneaker Studio. You can import your 3D models in there. You can position them in 3D. You can add your occluders, and then you export. This tool enables you to export these asset packages for the platform of your choice. And this is very important technology, because this is going to be used by digital designers, by manufacturers, by anyone that actually wants to create virtual shoes and let people wear them in augmented reality. And yeah, next slide, Thibaut. This is, like, as I mentioned, it's a very important tool, and it helps with the very quick deployment of 3D assets into augmented reality. And since we launched it in May last year, we've had over 4,500 shoes that have been made available for virtual try-on across all of our different customers. And yeah, this is at the moment, this has to be done manually. You have to add the occluders manually, but in the future this will also become automated. So to prepare a 3D model for virtual try-on will be very, very straightforward with the Vyking solution. And then at the same time, when we started in foot tracking, we also came across a company called Carlings, and they have a digital collection that they launched, and we found this really, really fascinating. In the video here, maybe some of you are already familiar with this. Somebody manually overloads the 3D model onto the user's body, onto the picture that they upload. But because we're experts in computer vision, we thought, okay, well, if we can already do this for footwear, and then we thought about, okay, what if we create like a marketplace for virtual sneakers, where people purchase virtual sneakers and they're able to wear them in augmented reality. So it's not just like owning a digital asset that you can't actually use anywhere. It's something that you can actually use in the real world through augmented reality. So what we're doing now is we're at the very beginning. As Stefan mentioned, we're new into the blockchain world, but from over the last couple of months, we've become a lot closer to Tezos in our network in Berlin, and we are at the beginning of building a virtual sneaker marketplace on the blockchain, where we'll have these NFTs, which like prior to a couple of months ago, we didn't have a good understanding of how all of this works, but for us, it makes perfect sense that when we have this virtual sneaker marketplace, people will have these NFTs, and the reason why that they're important is because it means that let's take the example in the real world, like these platforms like Goat and StockX and Poison that we work with, fake shoes or counterfeits, they're very common, and it's very difficult to know whether a shoe is real or not, or whether it's an authentic one or not. And when using NFTs, this completely eliminates that problem. And this is the direction that the Viking as a company is moving into now. See you on the next slide. And this is something that, if we're talking about virtual sneakers, this is on the right here. This is something that we've done recently for Adidas. So you can see like an animation going around the shoes here, and this is the very beginning of sneakers. I know some of the other companies that are presenting are doing some really amazing stuff with virtual sneakers as well. But this the possibilities are endless here. You can have all sorts of animations. There's no gravity. You can mix elements. And if we're doing this already in 2021, and this is live inside an app, there's a lot of opportunity for designers and for the AR technology and blockchain to create the future of virtual sneaker collecting. And at this point, I would like to pass over to Shaf and Alfie from Imperial, because we connected with them a couple of months ago as well, and they're working on a very interesting project on the future of footwear and how augmented reality and new materials may well be the solution to the overconsumption caused by fast fashion.
Great, thank you. So hi. So Shafe and I are part of a group project looking into the future of footwear by the year 2040, with our direction being on 3D printed biodegradable nanocellulose footwear with a microvascular self-healing, and the fashion is visualized through augmented reality. So it's kind of bridging the gap between augmented reality and physical shoes.
So we started off by looking at shoe consumption. So as you can see on the slide, shoe consumption's a major issue, with kind of 23 billion shoes consumed globally annually every year. So Americans are actually purchasing 7 new pairs a year. So I guess, what's the problem? Why? So it relates to a variety of factors. So that can come under poor durability, rapidly changing trends, fast fashion consumption, and that ultimately leads to overconsumption. And this is accompanied by extremely complex manufacture, with shoes having 65 discrete parts and over 360 manufacturing steps dotted around the globe. So what can be changed about this? So so essentially we analyze the current system, and the basis of footwear consumption is that all the inputs are essentially interlinked to provide some footwear characteristics such as protection, comfort, portrayal, and your materials and manufacture is intrinsically linked with the fashion trend dictated by a designer and brands. So what we did is we proposed a new system. So our new system looks to decouple fashion from the linked inputs and visualize that through AR, keeping materials and manufacture separate. So we're kind of interested in this idea of the democratization of fashion, where users are much more in control of the trends, etc. And the limitations of portrayal, as Matthew said before, you don't have any of these kind of laws of physics or anything bounding you. And in this reality, you can kind of achieve anything. So what does it mean if we have augmented reality in the system? Well, by decoupling fashion, it means that you can essentially have a single shoe that can augment itself into any. So the base shoe should provide kind of those fundamental aspects of protection, but you must amplify the other parameters to create that change in consumption and environmental impact. So we're looking at the most comfortable, most sustainable shoe. So kind of to allow augmented reality to work, we have to look into the system. So the challenge is the foot mapping technology and multi-user identification. So for example, with foot mapping, that is something that Vyking is tackling and leading in. But then to allow multiple users to engage with it, you actually have to have some kind of digital handshake with the shoe. So an example of this would be a biodegradable chip integrated on the cellulose base material made from gallium arsenide, and that would allow you to identify the user that the foot is being mapped onto.
So here's a visual render of our idea, and it utilizes the wireless chip that Shafay previously mentioned, and users can engage with crypto fashion in new, widespread ways. Next slide. So our concept takes inspiration from the metamorphosis of a butterfly, starting as something dull and really plain, and transforming over time into something quite beautiful. So normally when you wear a shoe, it becomes less desirable over time. As you wear it, becomes dirty. So our shoe wants to reverse that. So start off with something dull, and it becomes more beautiful the more you wear it because of the user's unique walking style. And the concept is a 3D printed biodegradable nanocellulose footwear with microvascular healing and fashion visualized through multi-user AR. So next slide, please. So following a biometric foot analysis, a generatively designed self-healing microvascular system and cushioning microstructure will be provided to cater for the user's unique walking pattern. So our designs were fed into by biometric research and designed to reduce the wear and prevent medical for the users. Next slide, please. So our shoe utilizes two types of safe self-healing technologies. That's microvascular and intrinsic healing. So microvascular healing will be employed for larger cracks in the shoe, whereas intrinsic healing will be used for abrasive wear and really tiny cracks on the shoe that you get on the sole. And yeah, on to Shafay to describe the next part. Previous slide.
So previous slide, please. Yeah, so essentially, it's this idea of you have your investment into the footwear, and now what we're trying to aim to do is extend its life, and that life being extended through the self-healing is quite critical to addressing sustainability, especially when we're coupling it with AR, because essentially AR means you don't have to purchase every single style. It's all on this digital marketplace. So to understand better, okay, how do shoes wear away? We use force sensors to map the highest areas of stress, as well as visual analysis of the wear areas. So what we found is that these actually change depending on the user. So it's almost like each user has their own unique gait wear pattern. And what that essentially means is we can take that data and, next slide, please. We can produce a generative design model, and that kind of automatically uses cloud computing in the future to create a microvascular structure. And that is kind of where the highest areas of kind of degradation would be, and it would kind of replenish itself. So in addition to that, we also use fluid simulations to tune the mass flow rate and pump mechanics. And that kind of allows for optimal circulation and is starting to lean into generative design of the flow. So kind of all these different aspects combined, what it does is it creates a system in which you're actually using AR to tackle some, hopefully some pretty important issues of the future.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think that's it. Maybe if you have any questions, if anyone has questions, we can all answer them and have like a quick Q&A. I think it's crazy. It is crazy. It's really impressive self-healing shoes. Then I guess is any no.
I just like to touch on you guys. Yeah, it sounds like you guys are on the cutting edge of some really cool, exciting stuff. Self-healing shoes and these different types of layers of explorations. How to like mix that with the augmented reality and truly profound
A lot of work.
experience. And I think it's the kind of where the future is headed. In one of our talks earlier, we were talking about kind of the future of like you have this like a single bodysuit that you wear that's kind of custom made for you, right? And then any sort of creative expression is this augmented reality layered on top of that. So you guys are actually talking about the actual kind of shoe version of exactly what we were talking about earlier. So I think it's really great.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, and the really cool thing about the AR like animations you could add on top would be that it would defy all physics. You know, as you probably all talked like with all like the virtual apparel, virtual clothing. You could have flames. My wife left me some funny comments on the right. And you could have anything. You could have the plane tracking. You could have a water flowing around your foot, having wings around the thing. So you can all the craziest sneaker design ideas that saw the day the last few years could actually see the day. I mean, like Jeremy Scott's sneakers with wings at the back could actually be flying in the next versions, and you can sky's the limit digitally.
Yeah.
Someone owns a red sweatshirt. So, for example, someone who owns a red sweatshirt and someone who owns a blue sweatshirt able to breed a sweatshirt that is blue and red.
Why not?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean, like, in the digital world, you can do anything, I guess. I mean, it's a bit like with Alfie and Shefe. They're thinking very long distance in the future, but I think in the meantime, before we get to a stage where there are AR glasses and you're able to change the way people perceive you through AR overlays, I think what we're going to try and do before then is to create a marketplace which is built on using NFTs and basically have a place where people are able to overlay these artistic designs over their feet by either using like live AR system that we have currently or importing a photo or video. So that's what we're trying to get set up in the near future, but with the ultimate vision that ultimately will go to these AR glasses and the system that Alfie and Shefe have been envisaging.
Just to add to that, I think part of the inspiration of the way we're thinking this ecosystem can all fit together is, I guess, you don't want people to be walking around where they've got kind of shirts on their feet and like, you know, dragon heads for arms and stuff like that. So although as awesome as that sounds, there's still kind of part of the structure that the system has to be built upon, like way into the future. And kind of part of the inspiration for this AR digital blend was, I don't know if you guys have seen the film Ready Player One. So yeah, that's kind of that idea of this digital world that's separate from reality. It's kind of, I guess, we're blending that line and hoping that in the future there can be some kind of structure which allows you know, all these different digital marketplace items to be used in real life as if it were clothing.
Yeah, totally. I just wanted to repeat because actually the questions disappeared. We don't answer them right away. We had a question about blockchain, saying how would blockchain technology help sneaker designers. Well, actually, like the biggest problem we saw, like with cool. Well, the biggest problem we see today on Facebook or Instagram is that all these AR creators are creating content for free for these platforms, which actually are AR creations. So the same will apply to sneaker designers. You know, they will come up with like really, really cool, really rad sneaker designs, and the blockchain, the NFTs, would allow those designers to actually get paid and to be actually get a revenue income by getting their designs sold around.
I think, yeah, I'll just add to that, really, it protects them. Like if you're a new entrant into the digital web design markets and someone rips your design off, in the with the NFTs, you are completely protected, and you know that if you just want to make 10 available, then there are only 10 available. And I think this is, I think it really, it's a major plus for a lot of these guys that are already, and girls that are making content for on Snapchat and on Instagram. Like this is when they can come to a new platform and know that they'll be able to define the pricing for the items that they distribute, and they know that they're protected. I think it's a massive plus. If you look at where what protections they have at the moment, there aren't any on, as you mentioned, on Snapchat or any of Facebook's properties.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's really cool too, your exploration of kind of the reverse aging of shoes. And I think that's something interesting that you can do with the NFTs as well, is you can do things like you can have iterative designs and different layers of things like that as well, where you can implement that into the augmented reality layer, which I think is a really fascinating concept.
Cool.
But awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thanks for being a part of this event.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Really excited. And if anyone has questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can easily find us on LinkedIn, or we can put our contact details somewhere on here. And you can send us any questions, or if you want to have a talk, have a chat. We're always open to chat.
Viking.io, right? Is that your website?
Viking.io. We can even put, I think you're choosing. Yeah. I mean, hello@viking.io is the email.
Cool.
I've seen there's just one last question there. It's like, how will this industry combat the ever-encroaching reach of ad space? Will this technology create value for businesses outside of traditional ad models or simple brand names? For me, I think it's like, I would say that all the big manufacturers at some point, they're going to be creating virtual, this will be a big potential new revenue stream for them. And I mean, of course, like everyone will, as soon as there's a lot of people purchasing digital assets like this, you'll have more and more brands that want to get in there. But I think there will be a whole new category of virtual only sneaker brands that emerge, and I think it's going to get very competitive as well. But it's also because you can do so much more with the designs, and because it's so much easier to enter into this market versus actually creating a physical shoe brand. It's as a person who wants to express themselves, there'll be so much more, so many more options than you have in the real world right now. So I think it's, I don't know, I'd like to see it become a bit more evened out. Of course, the big brands will want to be there, but in terms of ad space, I don't know. It remains to be seen, but I think it's. I hope that there'll be a lot more new brands that are created.
Just to add to that, I think there's a really awesome video on YouTube called Hyper Reality, which explores this idea of ad space. So that's worth checking out to see, I guess, what one future scenario could look like. But yeah, I think there will be, different levels of systems that people can engage with. I don't know if it would become a universal system straight away, because yeah, there are definitely these challenges of kind of, too many ads overwhelming people, and then kind of misusing what's, could be a really positive system.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, any sort of final thoughts, closing thoughts you guys have you'd like to share?
Yeah, I just want to say me and Alfie and the team, so it's a team of 5 of us at Imperial working on this. Yeah, massively appreciate the opportunity to be here to speak about our project, and massive thank you to Viking as well, who kind of introduced you to us to you guys. So we're really grateful to them as well. And I guess you guys, we're always looking for, other avenues that this future project could develop. So I guess you can reach out to either Alfie or myself on LinkedIn. Again, this is kind of a university project, so it's not quite fully legit yet, but we're getting there.
Hopefully soon. Thank you for everything. Cheers.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot, everyone. And reach out if you want to learn more about what we're doing at Viking.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Really grateful to have you. And for those of you watching, this is kind of the end of day 1 of Crypto Fashion Week. We have a number of events going through the rest of the week. Please check out cryptofashionweek.xyz/schedule if you want to see the schedule. We'll be posting stuff, updates there regularly, as well as on the Instagram and Twitter. So please pay attention and keep your eyes out. We got some cool talks coming up this week, and yeah, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.